Detective Comics 1108, Tom Taylor writing with Pete Woods and Bruno Abdias on the art. So this follows up kind of this trio that we sort of set up last time with Batman, Green Arrow, and Black Canary, and the mysterious fourth person that was going to make it a quartet from years ago. And this issue actually gives us a flashback to kind of like their interaction, because we start off years ago. And it's like young Oliver with his goofy hat. I love how Black Canary basically looks the same, and Batman's got like a slightly different shade of cape, but Oliver's got this goofy Silver Age looking outfit.
Yeah, he's great. He is the Robin Hood with the domino mask.
Yep.
You know, tough sell.
Yep, and that's when this, let's face it, really crappy looking hero shows up in a grey vest and like little mask, and that's basically it. This is what was his name from later? Prion, was that it?
Prion, yeah, which I did find out is a type of seabird. I looked them up, so it didn't come up when we discussed this last.
But it comes up in this issue.
Yeah, it does. But yeah, they're a type of bird that primarily exists south of the equator, I think, and they live off of, you know, kind of deep water. Weird that that's what he would choose to go with. So we'll see. But yeah, another bird theme hero to go with Batman and Arrow.
Yeah, but you know, doesn't have this. Apparently, a Prion doesn't have the sticking powers of Robin. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Absolutely not.
Yeah, but anyway, he shows up and fights the bad guys. At one point, he actually stops Green Arrow's like arrow from hitting someone because he thought it was going to be lethal. And then obviously Green Arrow points out that wasn't going to kill him. Like, I wasn't killing people, dude. But they all kind of say, hey, you did okay. You're kind of a hero. You're putting yourself out there. Blah, blah, blah. Cut back to present day. Them leaving the cemetery. They get into the hatchback, or the HatchBat, as Oracle names it. And then Oliver and Dinah seem to get on board with that naming, even though Batman doesn't like it. And, you know, basically get some intel, and there's a lot of jokes about the car and whatnot. But they're trying to figure out who the girl was, and there's basically no record. The woman who showed up to take her away, though, was like a relative of like a crime family or something, and has been kind of a recluse for years and stuff like that. So, setting up some of this stuff, but then we get back into the other side of the plot of this arc, which is that all these people who are going to testify against this company have been mysteriously dying under what looks like natural causes, and the final one's being moved by police. So, because that's happening, Batman and co go to try and save them, because they almost basically assume that something bad's going to happen.
Yep.
Which it does. You know, the armored truck he's been transported in ends up basically just
in the river.
Yeah, well, I mean, it goes on remote control and hits a cop car, and or the brakes stop working or whatever, and they go flying into the water. And then it turns out the HatchBat can go into submarine mode, and they go. So we get some underwater stuff with them all wearing their breathers and getting the guy out. Canary uses her stream underwater, which is kind of a cool visual to break open the armored car. So all very good. And they basically say, hey, we're taking the witness with us because he's in danger, so until he's testified, he's under superhero protection. And the cops are like, I don't know if you could just do that. I mean, I you know, obviously things are a bit hairy right now, but this feels like it's breaking the chain of command a bit here.
Just a little bit.
But yeah, so we get the car with basically the wheels go, they kind of spin like the DeLorean in Back to the Future when it flies. They kind of go horizontal. So yeah, but I mean,
the back ones, the back ones flip backwards, almost like a boat motor.
Oh sure.
Too. So
yeah. They go to Leslie Tompkins to have the guy looked over, and that's kind of it. The big scene though is really the final scene, which is that Oliver's meeting with the company, right? The heads of the company that's been killing these people. Well, we presume has been killing these peoples off.
Yes.
And basically Oliver had no intention of letting these companies merge or be bought out by them. And we don't get to see what it is, but he basically gives them a counter offer. And the implication is that the note just said F off. And the guy's not very happy about it. He makes them take the stairs and tells them to get lost. But bizarrely, that girl from the cemetery shows up in the final scene. And Oliver's like, wait, what are you doing here? This is kind of a dangerous floor because it's kind of under construction and there's like no windows. Like, really, you should not be up here. And she's like, I know, that's why I picked it. And she basically just kind of grabs Oliver and throws him off the side of the building. So the girl's evil, maybe?
I guess. Yeah, because the thing they brought up there is like she doesn't have a record. Like there's no, it's like almost she doesn't exist, right? So
Yeah.
I'm wondering what's going on here because there is like a ghost-like quality to her, where she just appears there. But yeah, after Oliver slams the door, which I did laugh because they go, we're 40 floors up, and he goes, yep, you better get walking, make your time work for you. So I thought that was funny, and he turns around and she's right there, you know.
Yeah, it's also funny because Batman said, hey, don't do anything that will raise suspicion to make them think they're being investigated or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I guess this won't raise suspicion, but I do think it's funny that he found a way to basically flip them off without, accusing them of whatever they're up to. So
it's very on brand for Oliver Queen.
Oh yeah,
you know?
yeah, it absolutely fits with his whole vibe.
Yep.
So I will say, so on the art, we've got two artists here, right? And they're kind of split weirdly, where the opening like flashback is Pete Woods, and the last like scene is Pete Woods, and in the middle chunk of the issue is the second artist, Bruno Abdias. He actually, I think, is the better artist of the two, because when it went back to Pete Woods at the end, I found myself going, "Oh, we're back to Pete Woods," because Pete Woods has got a very kind of, I don't know, much more simplistic look to his art that feels a bit more cartoony, I guess.
Yeah, his lines are a lot heavier too, so it adds like this heft where the other guy, everything's a lot softer. It's much more like Yannin, right? And it kind of fits that a little bit more.
Yeah,
I think they're handled well.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've never heard of Abdeus before, but I honestly, his art in the middle, all the stuff with the water and the canary using her cry underwater, I thought all that stuff looked pretty good.
His canary looks so good. That scene where she's takes off her breather to do the sonic scream, it does look like Yannin. Like, it is spot on. Yeah. So, and the way that the breakdowns happen as well. So I wonder if he's like one of Yannin's guys, like he's come up with him.
I don't know.
So they share a style. But yeah, all of that stuff in the middle looks really, really good. The only one I kind of have a problem with is once they get to the Thompson's clinic, Batman's ears look a little short. Sure. And some of the proportions seem a little off. But again, that's picking nits. Yeah,
it's much more to my preferred style, that art. I don't hate Pete Woods, but because I got this art first or in the middle and then it went to Pete Woods again, I was like, oh, this feels like a downgrade going to these pages. So I felt the shift. It felt quite severe.
But I do feel like too, like here with the shadowiness of this rundown building that's under construction or whatever, I do feel like Wood's style fits that. And there's one panel in particular that got me, was when the one business guy is reading the note and his kind of eyebrows raised up and his eyes a little bit bigger. Like there's a sense of shock. And just the way that Oliver reacts to all of that. I think Woods nails all of that. So yeah, it's definitely, though, not whiplash inducing because they are close enough, but yeah, you can definitely feel the difference as you turn the page.
Yep. It's just something that stuck out to me here. And it's kind of weird because you would have thought that the different artists might have done the flashback. That's how they usually split it up, and it feels a little bit less jarring because it's meant to be a different time period, so the different art style can sometimes work in that sense. But maybe it's because this Prion is going to be a recurring thing with these flashbacks, and because Woods is the main artist on the arc, they wanted Woods to be the one to do that with the Prion character. Which, to be honest, right now, Prion is my least favorite part of this arc. Like, I am digging the stuff with the company and the assassination attempts and like these three characters working together. I'm kind of into the mystery of the girl as well. I think that's just kind of weird enough that I'm kind of enjoying that. The crappy, like, F-list like hero that tried to be a thing in the past that's been kind of retconned into their history. Whatever.
Yeah.
Not feeling him.
That jabroni, he's not even cool looking. His mask looks dumb. He's wearing a cutoff vest, and this guy was supposed to be the best of them. So like, Taylor has an issue to wow me with Prion before.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
We throw him to the Z grade.
It'd be one thing if they just sort of like left it ambiguous, but yeah, like them saying, "Oh, he was going to be the fourth of the quartet. He was the best of his." I'm like, you're going to have to do some serious selling to me for me to even like come close to thinking that. If they had just sort of implied that there's someone that we lost back in the day, and then we find out, oh, it was this eager young guy who was in over his head and kind of had I won't say that his character's like Jason Todd, but just in the sense that he was a young hero that got killed, and that this sort of darkness has followed them for all these years, kind of thing. That'd be fine. It's like it's okay that he was a loser.
We vowed never to talk about it, right? Because it could have been any of us. But it wasn't. That's that type of stuff. But yeah, he was meant to be the best of us. And you have Batman and Black Canary. And then Green Arrow mileage may vary. But we can all agree that Canary, Dinah and Bruce are top tier of the characters, especially when it comes to the street level.
Yeah, I love that. I think obviously some people will yell, I'm sure, but I think most people would agree that Batman and Black Canary are clearly number 1 and 2. And then I like Green Arrow, but he is definitely number 3 in that trio.
Yes, by far. And then you have this guy that's supposed to be better than. It's like, I don't know about this. Also,
I did love when they're talking to Oracle in the car, and it kind of felt like Oracle and Dinah, just their camaraderie was coming out by her, like, chiming in and talking to Babs, because they're obviously like best friends, basically. I like that little touch, because it's not a Birds of Prey book, but it's kind of like a fun little just moment of like, hey,
well, it reminds you of the shared universe, right? Like, oh yeah, when Dinah's not here with Ollie, she is probably hanging out with Babs because they are best friends. So, yeah, I loved all that type of stuff.
Yeah, no, that part was good. All right, what are you giving Detective Comics?
I'm gonna give this just a straight 8.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I still have some convincing left with the pre-on stuff. But like everything else is doing. So, yeah, good stuff.